What's up, YouTube?
Hey.
Yes, Miles Life, and we're back. I'm Son of Source.
Hey, I'm Dr. Myers.
Yes, and today is day 14 on Getting the Love You Want Challenge.
Yes.
Yes, so day 14, what are we talking about?
We're talking about that romantic fog.
How can you fix your marriage? You embarrassed, they be laughing at all them broken promises and flowers don't be passion back. You can get this course for no divorce, so just imagine that. 12 weeks of Myers Life will save you from the avalanche. How can you fix your marriage? You can fix your marriage. How can you fix your marriage? How can you fix your marriage? 12 weeks of Myers Life, we can fix your marriage. 12 weeks of Myers Life, how can you fix your marriage? 12 weeks of Myers Life, help you fix your marriage. 12 weeks of
Coming out of the romantic fog, or going into a romantic
So
fog.
let's talk
Which one
about
are you in?
the romantic fog,
Yes.
and then talk about the aftermath of the romantic fog, right?
Alright, let's do it.
Yes.
Alright, so the romantic fog. What is the romantic fog?
So when you first get in any situation, isn't it wonderful? Doesn't it like check all the boxes? Cross all the T's, dot all the I's?
The excitement, the anticipation of being with that person, the excitement, anticipation of just knowing that it's newness and this is free and this is something that you've never experienced before and you're willing to explore it, and now you open your heart and you feel open to it. And now what?
Yes, just it's perfect, right? Yes.
You
When
feel
you
into
find
it.
that one, and it could be a person that you're committing yourself to. It could be a job that you're committing yourself to.
Yeah.
It could be any type of life commitment that you make. When you first jump in, it's like, wow, this is going to change my life. This is going to heal those wounds that are very deep within my core. This is going to provide me opportunities and growth. Yes.
A lot of us experience that when we start saying we want to do a workout plan or go to the gym or want to start a diet and lose weight or just change things. Maybe we start doing these things out of a breakup, and then we find this new person, and then we somehow get into this romantic fog of everything is beautiful, everything is bliss, everything is fun, everything is happy. So it's almost like you're floating on a cloud. So that's why we called it that romantic fog, because the fog is you can't see through it. It's so dense, and you feel that connection, you feel that love. Your heart is open. So then what happens when you are in that love fog, or when you start coming out of the love fog?
Yes. So one of two things can happen depending on what type of situation you're in. If you're in a situation that's kind of narcissistic, when that fog starts to come off, it can get really ugly. If it's not quite as unhealthy, you'll start to see things and you'll start to say, man, this should be like this and that should be like this. And you'll kind of feel that unbalance and that difference and the contrast, and all those romantic aspects of that fog will fade away slowly. And then the real truth comes out.
If you see a pattern of you sacrificing your happiness for this romantic fog, and then when you come out of the fog and you realize that all of the things that you've been somehow happy about are things that they want or they decide. So when you come out of this fog, you may feel a disconnect with yourself. You may feel like your needs are not being met over time, and it may build a little resentment because you've been in this romantic fog, but you didn't understand that you were sacrificing a lot of things in your happiness as well. So you have to be very, very careful of being in this romantic fog. Is it balance? Is it a healthy balance of what you are putting into it? Are you getting the love that you're putting into it? Are you getting that back in return?
Right. And I just want to talk about narcissism just a tad bit, okay? So, a lot of times we'll try to diagnose with people with narcissistic personality disorder or certain situations. Be careful with doing that. But if you see those traits, then there are a lot of strategies out there that can help you deal with that type of personality. Typically personality is constant. It doesn't change. So if you're seeing those types of behaviors, then 9 times out of 10, that's what you're dealing with. But with that narcissism, they are very good at deception.
Master manipulators.
They're very good at making you feel like they're going to provide you with everything you need. They listen, they pay attention, they gather information, and they take that information and spit back exactly what you want to see. Just to kind of rope you in, just so that you will open your heart. And then once your heart is open, they drop the bag and go back to, well, they transition back into who they really are. And then the truth comes out.
Right, then you start seeing things like gaslighting and things like that. You know, really manipulating their thoughts, because it's thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Right.
So if they're able to manipulate your thoughts and your feelings, then they have your emotions, then they have control over you.
And then they have a supply. Because really what it is about draining energy. So they need people in their lives that of which they can absorb that love and that light from. So if you are that individual supply, they're going to make you feel like everything you do is wrong, or that you're crazy, or that, you know, you're not competent enough, or don't have enough ability. And these are kind of like them projecting their insecurities on you and their way of kind of keeping you in that cycle of conflict, because they don't know how to love from the heart. Maybe they were never shown that as a child, or something traumatic happened. And typically these are the things that, you know, create that type of personality type. But just knowing, like, if you feel like you're in a one-sided situation where it's you versus them, where you're feeling like everything you do is wrong and that you can't do anything right in that situation with that person or situation, then know that it could be some manipulation or some narcissistic tendencies there. And love, that romantic fog, that love bombing is a big part of that process.
And so you have to love yourself out of it. You have to love yourself through it. Because the more love you give to yourself, the less you will take from someone, their lack of love. You know, the less you will take of someone not giving you the love that you really need, you know. So the more love you give to yourself, you get stronger and stronger in gaining that love. And then also regaining your emotions back, regaining your thoughts, regaining your feelings, because now you're giving that love to yourself that you're desperately asking from the other person, that they really don't want to give to you because they want to manipulate you through that.
I tell you, the cure to a narcissistic relationship is that self-love piece. The more you give that love that you're seeking in that other person to yourself, the more you'll not need them, the more to provide that for you, that is. The more you'll be able to make choices that have your best interests at the forefront. Because you can get addicted. You can get addicted to that cycle of trying to please or prove yourself. And every time you feel like you get a little gain, it's like a slot machine, right? That you get
a little bit.
Yeah, you win a little money. You're like, okay, let me keep going. Let me keep money in. Oh no, I lost all my money. Let me put this back in. And it's that intermittent reinforcement that's very addictive. So, you know, just be mindful that the more that you give that love to yourself, the less you'll need anything outside of you to give it to you. And the more that you can do that for yourself, the healthier the relationships outside of you will become. And the more people outside of you will have to treat you in the way that you uphold them to treat you. Because you have to teach people how to treat you.
Right. And if you hold yourself to a high standard, then the people around you will have to hold you to that same standard, or they end up not being around you.
Right.
You know? So just know that to get the love you want, you, one, have to give the love you want to yourself first, and then also give it out too as well. You know, because you will get that love back in return. You may not get it in the beginning, but eventually you'll get that love back.
Yes.
So we want you to continue to grow.
I want you to get the love you want.
Yes, it's time.
Yes.
It's day 14.
Day 14.
Day 14 of getting the love you want.
So, life-changing exercise, it'll explain it further. But just know that you have to accept. That's the first thing you need to do, is accept that person's truth. The minute you accept their truth, the moment you set yourself free.
Right.
If you can accept that, okay, they're kind of manipulative, I accept that. That's who they are. That's what they know how to do. The more you then know what to do for yourself. So accept radically.
And be comfortable with accepting love from yourself and giving love to yourself. It's very, very important that you're receptive to that, because only you know what type of love you want. So give that to yourself. So we love you. We want you to have a great day, but we also want you to comment. Let us know what are your feelings, what are your thoughts on day 14, of getting the love you want. We want you to connect. We care about your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions because we love you. Yes, we love you. So we want you to have the best life you can.
Yes.
So don't forget to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's time to subscribe.
Yes, comment.
Yes, comment, like, share. Let people know.
Yes, we got the merch.
Yes.
Check out the merch.
Check out the merchandise.
Yes.
We love you. We want you to continue to get the love you want. Yes. Mars Life.
Mars Life. Yes.
All right.
When we begin to emerge from what one would call the romantic fog, we are confronted with the imperfection of the problems. With this, we hope our partners or the situation will change to conform with the pretty picture we once imagined. We hope they'll stop smoking, recognize their staff, curb their temper, wear tennis shoes, or be more aggressive in bed. What often happens is that, as we intensify our commitment to our life situations, these hopes harden into expectations. Our fervent wishes turn into solid shoulds and finally into feelings of entitlement. Shoulds are dangerous to committed life situations. They define an imaginary scenario, blinding us to our real mates or circumstance. They dwell in a hypothetical future rather than a potentially satisfying present. They create unhappiness for us, and surefire frustration and feelings of rejection. We fall into a comparison trap. With our love and acceptance, our partner may turn out as we hoped, but only when we least expect them to. What would happen if you accept things as they are, without trying to change, escape from, or eliminate them? What would happen if you refocus your attention on what you can do now? This is called radical acceptance, accepting even the most difficult situations the way they are rather than trying to avoid them. When you practice radical acceptance, you acknowledge the current or past situation without judgment, and without criticizing yourself or others. Why should you practice radical acceptance? You may have heard the saying, the only way out is through. This means you must go through the pain in order to get to the other side of it. Remember, rejecting things that make you uncomfortable does not make them go away. Pain is a signal that something is wrong. A refusal to accept reality can keep you trapped in sadness, shame, anger, or other painful emotions. In order to successfully change something in your life, you need to accept it first. What you should do. There are several steps to practice radical acceptance. Stay in the present moment and pay attention to the emotions you are experiencing. Remind yourself that the unpleasant reality cannot be changed. Remind yourself that the past or present reality is shaped by numerous factors, decisions, and events that took place over time. Practice accepting with your mind, heart, and body. This can include relaxation techniques, mindful breathing, prayer, or visualization. Listen to your body's sensations, tension, tightness, etc. as you think about what you need to accept. Allow disappointment, sadness, or grief to surface. Recognize that life, even when it is painful, can be worth living. There are also statements you can say to yourself that may be helpful during this practice. I can't change what's already happened. It's impossible to change the past. The present is the only moment I can control. This situation is the result of countless other decisions and actions. Make a list of at least 3 shoulds you've been focusing on. Then pick out the one most important to you and reframe it as a behavior change request. In your mind, turn the rest of those should back into things I accept. In the serenity of time alone, I access my deep courage to acknowledge the part of myself that expects my partner or life situation to be something else. I visualize peeling away the shoulds like the layer of an onion to reveal the reality. I rejoice in their truth.
Mars Life. Mars Life. Yeah, check out the new merch. Get your family dripped up and draped out in the new merch. Ah, yeah. That drip is here. That drip is here. That drip is here. That drip is here. The source, the drip is here. The son of source shorts, man, that drip is here. We got the leggings for the lady drip. It's here. We got the leggings for the lady drip. It's here. The son of source shirts. The drip is here. The son of source shirts. The drip is here. Source's brain shirts. Man, that shirt is so tight. Man, that shirt is so tight. Don't mess up my vibe. Don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live. Man, don't mess up my vibe. You can see the vibrations on the front. You can raise your vibrations on the front. You ain't gotta worry about it. You can get some socks. You can get some socks. You can get some socks. The drip is so live. The drip is so live. Don't mess up my vibe. Don't mess up my vibe. Mine's life. Mine's life. The drip is so vibe. The drip is so live. The drip is so live. Don't mess up my vibe, man. That shirt is so live. The son of source shirt. The son of source shirt. Man, that shirt's so live. Man, that shirt's so live. Don't mess up my vibe. Don't mess up my vibe. The merch is here. The merch is here. Mine's life. Mine's life, man. That merch is here. Man, get your shirt. Get your shirt. Get your shirt. Get your shirt. Man, don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live. Don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live. Get some socks. Get some socks. You can get a dog shirt. You can get your dog shirt. You can get your dog shirt. That messed up my vibe. Man, that shirt is so live. Don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live. Son of source. Son of source. Son of source. Son of southern source. Son of southern source. The source healing center shirt. Mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. Let your family get draped up in the drape. Let your family get dripped in the drape. Hey, that shirt is so live. Don't mess up my vibes. Mine's life. The merch is here. The merch is here. The merch is here. Hey.